Hi guys, Ethereal Awakening here doing individual zodiac sign readings. This one is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Check your North Node. The energy today was great starting off, and then right about noon Central Standard, something shifted and it just felt like I wanted to give up. Like, it's not worth it. It's not going to work out anyways. Like, it just felt like, yeah, hopeless. And I know that my manifestations are coming. They've been a long time coming. So I'm thinking this is collective energy, and I needed to put some videos. I almost didn't put out videos today because of the energy, but then I thought, man, there's probably some people that really need to hear some messages. So, jumping right into these. Spirit, what messages do we have for Libra? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in the sign of Libra. Spirit, what messages do we have for Libra? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in the sign of Libra. Spirit, what messages are there for Libra? One more time. Spirit, what messages are for Libra? Let's see what's in it. The first two cards are current energy. We've got the Eight of Rods along with the Three of Rods. So you're thinking about some fighting with your friends, family, your spouse, significant other, and you're getting like little aha moments. Like you're getting downloads, you're getting, messages from God, you're getting epiphanies, whatever you want, little nudgings, promptings, internal promptings, that you're really reflecting on. You're reflecting on your own part. You're reflecting on you. I mean, the Three of Rods is the manifesting card. So you're seeing how you've manifested, your part in whatever bickering, fighting, arguing has been going on around you in your situation, circumstances. Like I said, could be family, could be friends, could be significant others, spouses, could be work. But you're recognizing, Libra, your part, how you contributed. Whether you are at fault, that's so irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. Who's at fault is really irrelevant when we're all a party to it. So you're trying to see how you've done that, what part you played in it, because you're recognizing that you're the only one that can do any change. You can't change other people. So, did I just speak this card into existence? There's the Five of Rods. And the reason I got the Five of Rods before I even pulled the Five of Rods was when you take 3 from 8, you get 5. So in your heart space, whatever this fighting and arguing is that's been going on around you, Libra, it's in your heart. It's weighing on you heavily. So it's probably a little more than you were just a party to it. You probably had some pretty strong contributing factors. Could have been that maybe you've been overindulgent. And when I see the Nine of Cups, it doesn't necessarily mean on alcohol. Some readers do read it that way. It could be. It could be you were drinking too much and you got into it with your friends and your family, and this could be your waking moment that maybe you're facing, am I an alcoholic? But at the same token, I could dive in a little deeper and say we overindulge in any activities that stroke our ego. And that can create contention in families, in friendships, in working situations. You know, when you're in a working situation, most definitely, because you want your work to be, I mean, who wants to do work that doesn't get noticed or doesn't get recognized? So doing above and beyond, taking credit for things that you probably ought not take credit for, or, you know, cutting corners that you shouldn't have cut corners, but saying that you didn't. Those are all, you know, negative, kind of lower vibrational, ego stroking, ego inflating, you know, endeavors, behaviors. So it's this, in this heart space, you're really, really reflecting, trying to get that glare off of it, guys. Really looking about how your, whatever you're overindulging in, which as a broad stroke, I can say, whatever you've been getting your ego puffed up over, you know, that ego keeps your humility down. It clouds the vision of, the best definition of humility I've ever heard was, it's not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. And so when we're doing things not based in a humble state, we're just trying to get some sort of an emotional, you know, ego stroke from it. You know, we get something emotionally that we are not providing for ourselves. So it's seeking an emotional validation outside of yourself. Now, something in these fights, which 9 times out of 10, when you're in a fight with a significant other, a coworker, a family member, a friend, it's a bunch of people just wanting to be heard. Another thing I like to say is, why do people yell? It's because they feel like they're not being heard. Whether audibly, you can't hear me, so I gotta yell so you'll hear me, or in a fight, although we are face to face, you're not getting it. And I'm going to speak louder, and I'm going to start speaking louder and louder until you hear. But, you know, again, if you use your own internal compass to navigate a fight, they're thinking the same thing. I'm not being heard. So at some point we have to decide, do we want our ego stroked? Because this is weighing on you, Libra. No pun intended. But this is something that's really weighing on you, because I see this off in the distance reflection over communications, harsh communication, getting, you know, that afterthought after the fact, either whether it's, man, I should have said this or that, which when I come to your heart space, very well, that's stroking your ego. Man, I should have said this, and I could have got, like, for real, what you should have said is, I'm sorry. Who cares who's right? This stuff is weighing on your heart. And you're really just mulling over these fights, like getting, I'm almost leaning on you're getting some sort of an emotional fulfillment from rehashing up these fights. Not letting a sleeping dog lie, like pulling it back up. Like, you may have been saying you were sorry, but then you're bringing it back up, Libra. All right, that's not being sorry, and that's not accepting forgiveness from the other person and then bringing it back up. 7 of Cups in the possible outcome, along with the King of Pentacles. So this is, yeah, you're manifesting you are manifesting this cycle. Because in your possible outcome, you got 7 of Cups, which is, you know, empty emotional fulfillment. And then that physical King of, you are the king of temporary, you know, instant gratification, whatever. whatever you're getting out of these fights is so temporary and so empty. These cups are not full of people who love you and care about you and will be around you the moment you die. They're full of things. Temporary things. So all this fighting with actual physical people, it's weighing on your heart, but yet you're getting this emotional stroke out of it, this ego stroke out of it, so you're keeping up in the cycle because the 9 of Cups is in your heart space, but then we go back to the 7 in your possible outcome. We can ride this ride until you're ready to get off. Started with the 8 of Rods and we went back to the 3 and then to the 5. There's another one. It's not, instead of progressing forward, we're going back. This cycle will repeat, Libra, until you recognize that these cups, I mean, are you going to call on all that stuff when you're on your deathbed? Bring me my things. That's all I need. Or you're going to wish that all the people you were fighting with were there to love and support you in your moment as you're passing. I don't say what you want to hear. I'd say what you need to hear and what the cards are telling me. But this is weighing on your heart. Underlying energy, what you might not be aware of, I've got the 9 of Rods. This is a self-defense mechanism. The 5 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. So perhaps this reading being the truth that you need to hear, but it's coming from this exclusion. Libra, you feel this is the mentality of they're just going to abandon or reject me, so I'm going to abandon or reject them first. That's what I'm seeing in this underlying energy. We've got, you know, this 9 of Rods. You've got this thick wall built up around you and you are on guard. Definitely the energy of they're just going to do it to me first, so I'm going to beat them to the punchline. Manifesting exactly that cycle over again. Empty cups. And it's coming from, again, that 5 of Pentacles. Feeling left out, feeling excluded, rejected, abandoned. And on the other side of that, you just want to break through. And here's, you know, the Ace of Swords being the mental plane, the mental realm, the thinking area. You're tired of thinking like this. Because it's coming, it's a self-defense mechanism that you've built up. But it's not getting you anywhere. I mean, this is the recognition of this cycle that is just going to keep playing out. I mean, whether you hear it here or you feel it in your next fight or wherever, you know, wherever these contentions are most, you know, strenuous for you, this is the recognition that this ace is here to cut through and give you a new beginning. So I'm telling you, I'm only telling you this because I know what this feels like. But this is also what the very next card in the underlying energy is the Lover's card. And then the 2 of Cups. This is you really wanting yourself to stop self-abandoning, stop self-rejecting. The very next, I just said that, and the 10 of Swords was right underneath that. These messages have been on point with the energy I felt today. And I'm going to pull one. I know this reading's going a little long, but I'm going to pull one card. I got a new deck that I want to clarify with. One card for each position. This card is the Page of Cups. This is you reflecting back on harsh communications, the Page of Cups is asking for first you to forgive yourself. When you thoroughly have forgiven yourself and you recognize what your actions were, maybe you needed me to tell you that this is a self-defense that you're doing so that you can understand more for yourself and be forgiving of yourself, and then also forgive other people involved. Whether or not they accept your apology, that's on them. All you have to do is do your part, and then continuing to be forgiving and caring and learning from what your cycles have been built up to this point so that you can change the behavior. Oh, that's too many. One card. Oh my gosh. Way too many. One card for the heart space. This top card. The Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is the clarifying card for that heart space. Your heart is calling. It's weighing on your heart that you're getting some sort of an emotional, you're getting an ego boost from these little fights that you're getting into. Because you got to be right. You got to go tit for tat. But there's that Ten of Swords saying, please stop. Please end this. Please put that last sword in it and be done. That learning and forgiving in the current energy is that first step. And the possible outcome. Dang it. I want this one right there. Seven of Pentacles. And that's, again, looking back on the cycle as a whole. Like, seeing that, yeah, you do get an ego boost. You have to be right. You got to get in there. Looking back going, man, I wish I would have said this, and I wish I would have said that. It's only keeping you in this cycle. And the Seven of Pentacles, I mean, if you look at this guy on this, he's like exhausted. The cycle is burning you out. You have nothing left for what you really want in life. So here's the cycle that we can re-begin, coming from a place of, I don't want this result anymore. I want a different result. I want a big, huge, bountiful garden. Not one that's nothing but arguments and fighting. And then the underlying energy, the Two of Rods. The choice is made. If you really, I mean, here's the Two of Rods in your underlying energy that will progress you to the Three of Rods in your current energy, or the Ace of Rods if you allow yourself to be loving, compassionate, caring, and self-appreciative instead of right. So I hope this has helped, Libra.